Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. Today, I have a long-awaited review that's been on my desk for the longest time. Obviously, I was off making music, so it took me a little bit to get this one done. But I wanted to definitely get this review out, and it is the review for Kamasutra, which was released February 14th, 1997, Valentine's Day, and the day Prince and his wife at the time, Mayte Garcia, were married. This was actually a symphony that Prince wrote for her as a present and was given to her on that day. I just love that. I love that so much. This entire album is done by Prince, except for some sax by Eric Leeds, and then the horns are by the MPG horns. There's some orchestral stuff by Claire Fisher, but everything else is Prince. I know I just said it's everything Prince except for these dozen or so people, but you know what I mean. It was included as the 5th disc of Crystal Ball if you purchased it early enough. I personally had only purchased the 4-disc set, so it took me years before I ever heard Kamasutra. I think I got it, we're coming up on 5 years of having this channel, and I think I got it. I think I got Kamasutra in my hands maybe 3 years ago. I'm just spitballing that a little bit. I don't actually know the exact date, but it wasn't until after I had this channel that I even had Kamasutra to listen to. Now, obviously, this being an instrumental album, it's a little weirder to do a review of it because I can't really talk about lyrics or anything like that, and it's weird. It's kind of like when I do book reviews, I'm like, I can't just read passages to you. What I've done here, though, with this album is I have constructed kind of this storyline, and even if we don't have lyrics, we do have song titles, we have tone, we have instruments used, so there is actually a lot to talk about here, in my opinion, and let's go ahead and jump into this review of the Kamasutra. Let's get to those tracks. So the album starts off with an extended version of the track The Plan, which was clipped for Emancipation Disc 2. And in my opinion, I think that was done mostly because Disc 2 was also for kind of all just love songs that were written for Mayte, but also he had a theme going where each disc on Emancipation, they were each exactly 1 hour long, exactly 60 minutes and 0 seconds long. So it was important to do that. So if you just take this one and you just clip it a little bit, edit it a little bit, you can maybe hit that mark, because I think it's the shortest song on all of Emancipation, and it's there kind of sadly as a filler. But there's added piano and strings on this version, and I think that this is actually really well done. I wish this was the version that people had heard first, and I know that there's even more people who have not even heard this extended version, but I feel like it serves the purpose of a first track here pretty well. If you're coming from Emancipation, then it's good to kind of bring you in with a familiar song, kind of suck you in. You're like, oh, okay, I feel this. I'm getting it now. But obviously the name of the song, The Plan, is that there's a plan in place, there's destiny, and we're about to be told the story of this destiny. So the second track is called Kamasutra. This is the longest track on the album at roughly 11 minutes or so, and it actually kind of goes in a lot of different directions. To my ear, it kind of sounds like a sexy film noir movie. I just picture Prince as this old, rough and tumble, dusty, detective. And he's out there looking for love. The tone and the tempo, it changes a lot, which honestly, when you're listening to it, it's really long and you think you've moved on to a new song, but it always keeps bringing you back with that riff that just definitely just keeps you coming back. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know, I love it personally. The next song is At Last, The Lost Is Found. And it's funny that I had said in the last track that it felt like Prince was a detective, because now this one is At Last, We found something like a detective would. But what I mostly found interesting is that when you look at the title, the lost is found is in quotes, meaning someone else said that. It's not just the title, it's someone says this. So I took a look at the Bible because where else would you go to reference things from Prince? And the phrase can be connected to three different parables. One is about how God is looking for people willing to repent. Another is about a son who wasted everything in his life only to then return to God. And there's a third parable in there, which is kind of asking everybody and inviting everybody in to celebrate having found something. All of those could fit. Since it's a love album, it likely parallels Prince's newfound appreciation for God and his joining with Mayte to be his wife, or at least that he would find her soon. The next track is The Ever-Changing Light, and to me this track is very Godfather-y in its feel. It would be very much at home in like any gangster movie. It's very well executed, but definitely gives that feeling. It's not as fun as the last track though, as it feels a little bit more ominous, like something is coming. The Ever-Changing Light is maybe dimming as Prince sees threats from the outside trying to take him down, so he has his guard up. So, you know, he knows that fate. So far, the story is he knows that fate it has a plan for him. The Kamasutra is kind of about he's out there and he's doing a lot of different things with a lot of different people, and you know he's still looking for that love, and he feels like he's found it, but then you know the ever-changing light, it's still just not right. He thought he found love and it just didn't work, so now he's kind of on the hunt again a little bit. That brings us to Cutz, and I feel like this is one of the more creative songs on the album, I feel like, because most of the song is just a pair of scissors and a xylophone, and yet with just a pair of scissors and some xylophones, like, Prince made some amazing music. It starts off kind of low energy, but it climbs up until the end, pretty much. If we're still sticking with the detective theme and whatnot, then I think this is probably him getting into disguise, so that he can eventually meet his femme fatale. Or pretty much, this is just him saying, like, he was trying to look for love, it didn't work out, so let's just get back to work. And this is kind of about him getting ready for his next show. Like, he's doing his next show, he's going into concert, it works out. The next song after that is Serotonin, and we all know that serotonin is the chemical in the body that makes us feel happy. It's just a quick 45-second interlude, and it's kind of an elevation from from sadness to joy. It's that nice kind of rush that washes over the album. Definitely something that can happen before a big show. So I feel like he gets ready for the show. He has the serotonin levels going. Then we get into Promise/Broken. And this is a super sexy song. And the sax on this one is worth the price of admission alone. Thank you, Eric Leeds. The keys on here that create that kind of weird keyboard orchestra really brings this song to life. And there's explosive drums behind it. Like, all of these things make it just amazing. It's also really catchy in like an 80s action movie kind of way. And what I feel like this is Prince on stage, like he's killing the performance. He got ready for it, his serotonin levels are there before the show, and then bam. Then we get Barcelona. And I feel like the beat sounds like it's a boss battle in a video game. But then the horns come in and it sounds more like a triumph song. With the name Barcelona, it could just be telling the tale of a trip abroad. But however, we also know that Mayte met Prince for the first time in Barcelona. So this is likely where she comes into the story. So about halfway through, the song gets very exciting and everything really escalates. Like we're doing the show and then bam, that's where the love is found, and you hear it in the song. Like it's pretty amazing. Then we get Kamasutra Overture number 8. It has a great beat. The sax keeps that energy going. It again is pretty sexy, hence the name Kamasutra. The subtitle of it, though, is Overture number 8. So an overture is the beginning of something. So could this possibly be Prince saying that this is the 8th time in his life that he really feels like he has finally fallen for love and is ready to start anew? And it makes me wonder who were the 7 before this that he felt were actual loves of his life. I'm sure people in the comments, tell me what you think the 7 before Mayte were. Let's let the comments explode. It's just weird how you can glean so much from like song titles, or in this case, like a ton of like weird theories. The next track is called Coincidence or Fate. So Prince and Mayte said on several occasions that they felt like they were soulmates, they were meant to be and had been together in the past lives. So in this case, we hear a return to the Kama Sutra theme. But it's with like a lighter, more beautiful tone to it. It's less about out there grinding and finding, looking for sex, looking for love. I'm looking for it. And more like, we found it. It's here now. I really like it. And I like the fact that, like, yes, it is destiny. The next track is Kama Sutra, Eternal Embrace. So we have a return to the Godfather sound as well on this one, but again, it's much prettier. It's like it's that same kind of feel, but it's just, they might still have enemies, but now they're going to fight them together. They are themselves an army, and like that was the plan all along. So we hear elements of like a lot of the other songs all get kind of tied into each other, but it ends in a similar feel to the plan, which started us off. And it's very pretty, not a bad way to end the album. I really, really liked the way that they ended this album. It felt very much like the beginning. It was very cyclical. So, in conclusion, I feel like this is a wonderful 41-minute instrumental piece from Prince that tells the story of him meeting Mayte and falling in love without words and without any pretense of making this like a commercial album or anything. It's just, I love you, here it is in music. If you listen to this and you don't feel love, then I think you're deaf. I don't think that you can hear it. I think this is about love, and you can definitely hear it. I feel weird ranking something like this or giving it stars because it is very much, it's a very personal thing by Prince, and I just feel honored to be able to hear it. And I know like instrumentals aren't everybody's thing, and it's a little bit out of place for him. He's mostly known for like, rocking or dancing or like huge ballads and stuff. And this is more just like, it's laid back, it's sexy, it just feels right, especially when it was released like, mid to late 90s, and he was just so happy around that time, and you hear that in this album. But what did you guys think of Kama Sutra? Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification if you want to help support the channel. We're going to be coming back with more videos now that my album is done. So definitely, if you want to support the channel, you can become a YouTube member, or you can go to patreon.com/princessfriend. Links to both of those down in the description. I'll put a link if you want to go check out my music, name of my band is Strays of the World. You can go check out the channel. I'll put a link to that as well. Otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. I love you all. See you in the next video. I believe the next review will be for New Power Soul.